I've had a couple of blood sessions since I purchased the Fun Cup by the Fun Factory, and I wanted to come back and give you my review about it. I'll go over how it inserted, how comfortable it was or uncomfortable it was, and how the removal process went. I'll also include some thoughts at the end of the video. Please remember that this is my personal experience with this cup, and we're all different, so my experience might be very different than your experience. Even though a cup works for me, it might not work for you, and vice versa. I normally have a medium to high cervix, so if you have a low cervix, you might want to find a reviewer that also has a low cervix. Their point of view might give you a better idea of what kind of experience you might have with a particular cup.
Hello everyone, it's Red Herring. I hope you're having a great day. Any websites, links, or discount codes that I might have at this time will be in the description below. If you find anything helpful or interesting in this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
First of all, I did contact the company to have them clarify which side of the cup should go against the bladder, the short side of the cup or the long side of the cup. Logically, I would think that the short side would go against your bladder, but maybe they had a different vision for this cup. I like to use the C-fold, U-fold very often because it's quick and very easy to do. But on this cup, it does create quite a wide insertion point, and that might be kind of off-putting for some people. I did find that the punch-down fold created a smaller insertion point, but I had some troubles getting this cup to open after I insert it because the body of this cup is really soft. And when you're pinching the base of it to get it to pop open, it just kind of didn't have enough oomph behind it to get the rim to pop out. I found that the Labia Fold with this cup was probably the easiest to use for me personally, but it didn't really create a small insertion point, which again might be off-putting for some. If you watch the video that the Fun Factory put out about the Fun Cup, you'll notice that they used the C-fold or the U-fold. So I'm going to do that. And they also brought in, I don't remember if it was a glass or just a piece of plastic like I have here, but they took the fold and they put it straight into that item and allowed it to pop open. When we're actually going to use the menstrual cup, we would fold it like they did with the short side and the fold on the top. And then when we go to introduce it into our bodies, our hand would flip the cup over so that we can access the entrance of our vaginas. So now the short side of the cup and the fold is pointing downwards. For some, this may work depending on where your cervix is located, but again, the cup was intended to be used with the short side against your bladder. So once you have the cup inserted, you'll need to reach in, pinch the base of the cup, and turn it or spin it until that short side is against your bladder here. I did have some problems with this because the air holes, and I'll go over that in a little bit, but you can also push down on the body of the cup and try to swipe it to the side to get it to turn. If you've watched some of my previous reviews, you'll know that I hate fumbling with a menstrual cup to get it to open and to get it positioned correctly. But this cup was new. It was a different shape, a unique shape. I wanted to make sure that I got it correct. I also wanted to figure out a way to get this cup folded, inserted, and opened easier than I had with my first couple of tries. What I found with folding it from the longer side is that it creates kind of a larger, awkward, bulky insertion point, and it kind of flares out, and this is probably for most not very easy to insert, as it was not for me. The punch down fold did create a smaller insertion point, but the body of this cup is soft, and again, it didn't have enough oomph to get the rim to pop out and open. The labia fold on the back side created a kind of a large area here, and it was kind of getting a little hand cramping because you do have to hold it quite tight. So why didn't I just fold the cup up, turn the cup around, and insert it with the fold upward? If you've used a menstrual cup and you've used a firm menstrual cup, you might have experienced having the rim snap open on your urethra. You might have also felt the rim drag on your urethra on the way out or hit it on the way out. And we know, if that has happened to you, that it can be very uncomfortable or even painful. So to eliminate that risk, you really don't want to have the fold facing upward toward your bladder. Once I finally got the cup inserted and found that the labia fold was a little easier for me to work with, I still had some troubles getting the rim to open up all the way. And I think that really has to do with the pinholes on this cup. And I did do an unboxing of this cup and a walkthrough of it. You could probably see the pinholes better in that. I'm going to try to take a screenshot and post it here. But they are teeny tiny. And I have a thumbtack here. And if I insert the thumbtack into one of these holes, it does have some resistance. That's how tight these holes are. And if I try to take the pin out when I'm pulling it, the silicone actually moves along with the pin. Being that the pinholes are so small, the air didn't want to get in there to help the cup to open. And it also caused a problem when I went to go remove the cup, but I'll wait until I get into that portion before I tell you what was happening. After I finally got the cup all situated, it was in the correct position. I wore it comfortably. I didn't have any problems with it. I couldn't feel it. I didn't feel the nub at the tip, even on the larger size cup. I tried sitting down. I tried moving around. I squatted down and everything, and I didn't feel that nub. And I was kind of worried that I would, just because it is a harder piece. So you might find that uncomfortable if you do have a low cervix and try to use the large. Removing the cup was a little tricky. Again, my cervix is on the medium to high side, and I know that I just have to bear down to be able to reach the cup a little bit better. So I didn't have a problem with that. If you have a really high cervix, just don't panic. Just keep, bearing down until it gets low enough, and push your hand a little bit harder to reach onto the base of the cup. Speaking of the base of the cup, the grip rings, grip dots, grip seeds, I don't know what you want to call them, they're pretty non-existent when you go to grip onto those, so those don't really help. At least they didn't help me. But that hard nub at the end of the base of the cup did help, in that my fingers hooked behind it and gave it a good support to be able to remove this cup easier on that portion. Because the air holes on this cup are so teeny tiny, the cup created a really tight seal or tight suction around my cervix. So I did try to collapse the cup on the sides to try to break the seal, and it seemed like every time I pinched down on it, it sealed even harder, suctioned even harder. So I did have to really get up there and collapse that rim back. And in doing that, I did hit my cervix a few times and caused myself to cramp. So I had to be a little bit more careful the next time I went to remove my cup. Alright, so that was my experience with inserting the cup, actually wearing it, and removing it. So what are my final thoughts on it? Let's see. I did have to fumble with this cup way more than I would like to. So that is a big downfall for me on these cups. I think that for a first-time user, these probably wouldn't be the best cups to try out. Try to get comfortable with using a menstrual cup first of all, and then, getting comfortable with maneuvering things inside of your body. This cup is really well made and it's a great concept, but it just didn't work out for me. I have heard of other people that really like this cup and it was easy for them. I don't want you to cross it off your list because it didn't work for me. It might very well be your Goldilocks cup. I never want to shy you away from trying a cup that might work for you. So I guess that's all I have right now about the fun cup. I will probably try it again in a few months. If I missed anything or if you had additional questions about the Fun Cup, you can leave me a comment down below or contact the company for yourself at www.funfactory.com. They do have a US site and I don't know it off the top of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and include that in the description box. Leave me a comment down below if you picked up this set in either of the sizes and how it's working out for you so far, just your experience overall. Until I see you next time, take care.